Released a video this morning on Proxmox or PBS or Proxmox backup server. I realized I said Proxmox backup server a lot of times in that video. It's sometimes hard to use pronouns or use other words other than the thing you're talking about, because as soon as you start to say it, then people are like, which it are you talking about? Anyways, if you watch that video and you take a shot for every time I say Proxmox backup server, you'll probably be drunk after 30 seconds. So be prepared. But anyways, that video was more about me looking at Proxmox backup server again. For the last three or 4 years, while running Proxmox, I thought, yep, NFS is good enough, right? NFS is good enough. I don't have sophisticated backup needs, and I can't really justify like running another machine in my environment. And at the time when I looked at PBS, it was still early beta. I think pre-1. So I was like, yep, that's cool. I'll keep my finger on the pulse, maybe one day. And, you know, people keep talking about it. And I was like, you know what? Like, I should give it a look again. You know, I feel like I'm missing out on some stuff. So when I looked at it again, I was like, oh, these are all the things that people have been talking about. Deduplication, incremental backups, file level backups. So I decided to take the plunge again, decided to take the PBS plunge, and I went back into it, and it's pretty great. It is pretty great for many reasons, most of the reasons I talked about in that video. But I was able to reclaim, 6 terabytes of data just by switching to it. I have my VMs that I back up here in my home lab, along with my virtual machines that I back up in my colo. They all back up to here, and I was doing it over NFS, which works, but it's not great, especially when you start doing remote backups. I was backing up probably 30 gigs of stuff, if not more, every night, probably more, over the wire, and I was doing it so much so, it was taking up so much bandwidth and taking so much time that I ended up taking less backups than I started doing every other day. And so because these backups were full backups every time, nothing was deduped. Basically, it's a copy and paste of that that as soon as it takes a snapshot of the machine, send it over, and that was it over NFS. So once I switched over, it was pretty awesome, because then it just becomes the diff from the previous. So I switched over. It's awesome. Like, my backups are just, they take 1 or 2 seconds now, because it goes through, analyzes, look at it. I mean, a little longer than 1 or 2 seconds. Calculates the diff, says, here's the diff, sends the diff, and it only sends the diff over the wire. So, it's only going to transfer a couple hundred megabytes, if that. And then on top of that, once it gets back to PBS and it runs its job, it will then deduplicate that data if needed. So pretty cool stuff. I'm not an expert in it, but I learned a lot about it. And I learned enough about it to know that, hey, I should probably be using it. So anyways, I kind of went crazy in that video and did tons of backups. I had to crank it up to 11 and do hourly backups on all of my machines just so I could, get some data going. But pretty awesome. I'm getting 65-to-1 ratio. What does that mean? My dedupe factors is pretty high. I guess that's pretty high. Some people get 40, 50. I'm getting almost 65, which means that, if I weren't using PBS and I was doing NFS backups and doing a full copy each time, I'd be using 65 times the amount of data. So it's pretty cool. I'm a fan. I get it. It's not a general purpose backup system. But for me, running a lot of, LXCs or virtual machines, and even having 2 locations, one across the wire, it's awesome. It's awesome. And I know that there are other things out there, but, this is paired right with Proxmox. And I think a couple people mentioned, it would be great if this was just integrated into Proxmox. And I agree. Just go full hyper-converged and build the service into Proxmox and just make every Proxmox server also a backup target to send and receive and all of that. So that would be cool if they went super ultra hyper converged and built backup into Proxmox too. But they didn't, and still good. So I do run mine a little bit different though. I couldn't justify running yet another server in my environment because my hypervisors are so beefed up. So I am virtualizing it, and on top of that, I'm using NFS. So I'm not using it in any production way possible, but it works fantastic. And I think in the future, when I rebuild my I think this will be the one and only VM that I ever run on TrueNAS. Like, I don't run any VMs on TrueNAS, but my goal is to get that off of Proxmox because I don't want the inception. And at the same time, like, if my Proxmox server is down and that's a virtual machine on Proxmox, I'm kind of hosed. Like, I can't restore anything. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do soon after the new TrueNAS update comes out and Docker support, and I have to redo a lot of TrueNAS. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use one virtual machine in TrueNAS, and it's going to be PBS, and that will kind of that will separate my concerns a little bit, and which will be awesome. So, anyways, so yeah, I've had a lot of fun over the last couple of weeks getting this straightened out, and I reclaimed a ton of disk space. Like after I, not only did I reclaim the disk space from the backups, snapshots and all of that, ZFS snapshots, it just cleaned up. But it cleaned up a ton of stuff afterwards. So I'm like, oh yeah, my ZFS pool is, now about 50%. It was at 80. I was at the borderline 80 where you're not supposed to be because of fragmentation. So I'm back under 50. I know I probably still have some fragmentation, but I'm pretty happy about it. And I set up a whole bunch of cleanup jobs to delete old recorded TV over like a week old, and did a bunch of stuff, bunch of maintenance stuff, but it's fun. It's fun, home lab stuff. So hey, Zigor, how's it going? Hey everyone, happy PBS Saturday. Happy PBS, yeah. What was the PBS public broadcasting system? What was they'd say, this is brought to you by viewers like you, so thank you. So yeah, Sigor, this episode is brought to you by viewers like you, so thank you. Thanks for the Prime sub, 41 months. Okay, I'll stop talking about myself and I'll stop blabbing. This is actually kind of nice having this wireless microphone here because I don't hear myself in my ears, which usually when you talk and when you do stuff live, you kind of want it so you know what's going on. But my voice is pretty loud in general and it's kind of low, so it's like I can hear my own voice if I have headphones in really good. And these aren't playing anything at all. Sometimes I'm weird and I'll wear headphones all day and nothing's even playing. Like I just, I have them in and I kind of like the, how it subdues all the sounds. And sometimes I'm so focused I forget to hit play on Spotify. And my wife's like, "Can you hear me?" I'm like, "Yep." She's like, "Oh, testing me." She's testing me. Today, it's my go-to, my caffeinated cherry cola, flavored sparkling water from Target exclusive. Good and Gather brand, pretty good. Just the right amount of cola, right amount of cherry flavor, little caffeine. Pretty good, and I need it because I'm pretty tired today. And then, but this is the one that I'm gonna drink afterwards that you haven't maybe seen before. But this is Waterloo. This Waterloo is cherry limeade, and it's really good. It's really good. I like this one a lot. I like anything that has a mix of lime in it or lemon. Really, any citrus. You mix citrus with anything, I'm going to drink it for the most part. But this is really good. This is Waterloo. If you've never had Waterloo, Waterloo tries to taste exactly. They try to match the taste of the thing. What do I mean by that? Like if you eat a fresh cherry or a fresh lime, I think they kind of go after that flavor. Where some brands, they go after like the candy version of that flavor. Like one good example, if you try bubbly grape, it tastes like grape soda, which is awesome. I love that. I love that. That's what I want to taste when when I'm in the mood. But if you ever tried the Waterloo grape, it tastes like you pulled a grape off the vine and ate it, which reminds me of being a kid at my grandparents' house because they had a grapevine. So when I had the Waterloo grape, I'm like, whoa, that tastes like a grape off the vine. So anyways, Waterloo tends to go for that. It's sometimes a good thing and sometimes a bad thing. So anyways, I love this one. This is a favorite in my household, so I drink it. And it's condensing a lot. It's pretty warm. It's pretty warm here in the Midwest, especially the North Midwest. And it's going to be cooling off. It's 85 now, pretty windy, but I think it's cool enough. It was nice and cool earlier in the week. Now it's getting in the 85s again. It's like summer all over again, but I think next week it's like high of 63, which I'm like, yeah, this is my jam. So anyways, I'll stop blabbing about water after I take another sip. Or a gulp. That was a gulp. I joke with my wife all the time because she's like, "Can I have a sip?" And then she's like, chugging it like that, and I'm like, "Whoa! I thought you said a sip." Anyways, and I'm gonna crack this open so it's not super loud later on. There we go. That was probably super loud. Probably peaked. All right, let's get into chat. Let's see what you guys are talking about, what you're working on, how things are going. No sound, mic is good, no music. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this is when I was testing out my wireless mic because I'm using a wireless mic. Hopefully you're not getting like any feedback or like air. I didn't put on the dead cat, the wind thing. Would look weird inside, but I kind of have to because if you see that fan up there, that thing is cruising. And a few times I've taken off my shirt in here and like put my arm in there and it almost chopped my arm off. Anyways, okay, it looks good. Mic sounds good. Hear it. A whole bunch of redemptions. All right, let's go. I am Utpa. Oh, here we go. Weekend project update number 3: reducing hardware to minimize power consumption. 2, reorging and consolidating deployments to eliminate extra VMs. 3, migrating all services to a single Docker node with reliable backups and only deploying important services on a K3s cluster for HA. 4, deploy zero-tier mesh VPN using Twingate for upcoming trip. That is awesome. That is awesome. Real quick, sudo Al. Hey, thank you so much. Sudo, yeah, that's an Al. I have my serifs turns on, so it's not an AI. Sudo Al, hey, thank you so much for the tier 1, 5 months. Thank you so much, sudo Al. Sudo Al. Sudo Al. Yeah, I know. But thank you. I appreciate it. 5 months. Thank you. So yeah, that's a lot going on. So yeah, reduce hardware. I like it. Reorg and consolidate. I like it. I'm there with you. Eliminate extra VMs. Yeah, I'm kind of there with you too. Migrating all of the single Docker node. I kind of there with you too. Only the most critical stuff in K3s. Wait, single node, reliable backups. K3s cluster, important services on a K3s cluster. That's where I diverged a little bit, and I kind of went the opposite way and said only the most important services on Docker only. Long story, but things go bump a lot in the night with K3s and during the day, and when you don't want them to. A lot of care and feeding involved, and I've realized that my super critical stuff like Home Assistant and a few other things, Flex. You know, I'm not putting in Kubernetes because as much as they are cattle, those types of containers are still pets, and so you're still kind of shoehorning a pet container into a cattle. It's like throwing your dog in with your cattle, and you still got to feed your dog separate. You still got to worry about your dog separately. And if your dog dies, it's getting morbid. You only have one dog in that cattle scenario. So, anyways, that aside, yeah, I'm at home. I went single node Docker, putting my most critical stuff there. All my other stuff that I play with, whatever, homepage, you name it, Uptime Kuma is still in Kubernetes. So awesome. Yeah, that's a lot of work going on. Mamens, how's it going? Howdy, works. TD515, I heard that UniFi 5.0 is supposed to support third-party video cameras. I have UDM Pro, but I don't use UniFi Protect because I can't use my existing third-party cameras. Does anyone know when 5 is coming out? 5 is out. Yeah, so you're right. So 5 is out. So Protect 5 is out. I think it's 5.0.33. It's out for general availability. I think it was yesterday I updated, or the day before, I can't remember. And one of the big features is that they support ONVIF, O-N-V-I-F. So it's a standard for controlling cameras. And if you have a camera that supports ONVIF, UniFi Protect will discover that camera and you can remote control it, which is huge. This is like huge for Protect, and it's I think it's the right thing to do. I mean, it probably makes business sense for them too, right? I mean, otherwise, why would they do it? I mean, one could say like, hey, maybe they're being good community members, and I don't doubt that. But at the same time, there has to be, if you're going to spend development resources on something, there has to be some kind of benefit too. But I think the biggest benefit is to the people that want to try out UniFi Protect, or to the people who, have these third-party cameras and are running two systems. Like we at home get to choose our systems, right? And we get to choose our systems, and we get to choose whatever we want to do and support, right? And we can consolidate and we can standardize, right? But if you think about other companies where maybe they inherited another company or inherited an old system, and now this person is like, well, we have this protect stuff and we have this other stuff and we have this other stuff. Now they could, realistically combine those all into one system, or multiple sites, and then use their site manager. I forget what it's called. I should know this stuff, but use their site manager to manage multiple sites. So yeah, it's super cool. I think it's really awesome what they did. I haven't tested it yet. To be honest, I got rid of all my IP cams a while ago. So I should have one here to test. Maybe I'll convert my, I don't know if Wyze cameras can be reflashed to support OnVIF. I don't think they can. But anyways, I should pick up a cheap one somewhere just so I could test this, because it sounds pretty cool. But yeah, totally. It was a huge announcement from them. And I hope we see more of this. I hope we see more of this. Because, in general, Ubiquiti creates ecosystems, right? They're a company, they create ecosystems, and when they see a fit in the market for a certain product, they're gonna try to, address that need in the market, and they're gonna integrate with their own ecosystem. But this is really cool to see now that they're like, okay, if there's an open standard, like OnVIF, and then they'll allow integration, which is awesome, right? Because like it would be so hard. There would be like to put myself not necessarily in Ubiquiti shoes, but a company who hires software developers, that's me at somewhere else. That company has to decide where they're going to spend their time, and time is money, especially when you're paying people to do the work. And so it's pretty awesome to see that they're saying, yes, this is worth our time and worth our money. And it's awesome too to see that they're supporting an open standard, which could open the floodgates for other products that they have and other support for other open standards. So pretty cool. Yeah, I'm super excited. I haven't been able to test it. Cody, he's all over that stuff. Crosstalk, Chris, they're all over that stuff. But Cody, yeah, he's the video I watched, and I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. I heard it was coming, and I saw it. I'm part of the EA. You can sign up for EA, and it was in there, but I couldn't talk about it until it came out. So I was excited about it. So anyone could sign up, I think, for EA. But now it's GA, everyone could talk about it. So, anyways, Riderhood Jeff, hey, happy Saturday. Yocto, YWS, oh, sorry, Mayrink, hello. Frigid Souls, hello. Riderhood Jeff, hello. Yocto, got 2 terabytes of RAM to install. Jeez, man. Your RAM is bigger than some of my hard drives. 2 terabytes of RAM to install, a GPU node to build, and prepping for upgrade of my fiber and adding new /26 block. Wow, see, this is what's going on at YWS. I feel like I need to intern at YWS so that I can learn like why I would need a /26 block, or or your ZFS upgrades or any of the other stuff. Are you taking interns? I want to be an intern. Good to see you, man. Twisted Grim, sounds like a good day, Tim. Yeah, it has been a pretty good day so far. It has. I debated on releasing that video because I finished it up kind of late, and I didn't get the thumbnail done because I switched off Adobe stuff. And so I was fighting with Affinity Photo, and I was like, you know what? Late on a Saturday is better than Sunday. So I just said, yeah, I'm going to tough it up and do it. Learned Affinity Photo real quick. Yeah, I'm totally off Adobe stuff right now. I mean, that probably doesn't mean a lot to you guys. But, I paid a couple $1,000s to Adobe over the years, and I canceled my subscription. And, I do have some things to show for it because I made videos. But now, I can't even open a PSD file. It's like you pay this company thousands of dollars, and then, then you can't even open a file after your subscription ends. So, but that was my choice. I decided that, you know what, I'm gonna try it out using other tools. DaVinci Resolve. I'll pay the $300 up front, the one-time payment, and the same with Affinity Photo and Affinity Designer. Alternatives to Photoshop and Illustrator for pretty good price. and it's one-time payment. So I figured, why not? I'll give it a shot. I'll give it the old college try, you know. But in the meantime, now I'm saving, you know, 40, 30, 40 bucks a month, which is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So now I just need to keep it 10 months so it pays for itself. And so on to month 11, yeah, now I'm really saving money, but pretty awesome stuff. But let's see. Anyways, CBP Pilot trying to set up a PVE cluster to host Ceph and some small HP microservers. Having an issue where I install it on all nodes, update, then I can't get to the web interface on all 4 nodes. Interesting. So the only time, so I've created clusters. You know, I have 2 Proxmox clusters, one for home and one in my colo. The only time like I can't reach the interface is only for a short while when they join, right? Because I think they need to generate a new certificate, and that's the only time I've ever run into that. Yeah. So I haven't run into that before. I would. It sounds like you're probably rebuilding this over and over if you can't get to it. I would, you know, create the cluster before adding Ceph. You know, I don't know. That's a tough one. Like I said, you will get temporarily, like it won't respond for a little bit, or it will respond with the wrong certificate because it regenerates a new certificate when you go to that node that just joined. But it should respond after that. You know, I mean, to troubleshoot, what would I do? So I would curl it. When a browser doesn't work or something, you know, what do? Well, I ping it if it's TCP/IP. If it's HTTP, you know, protocol like Proxmox is, I would do a curl on whatever IP address :8080. No, IP address :8006. You know, and curl it. See if you get the 403 or whatever comes back. See if you get anything back. And that will prove it's either your browser or not, but I highly doubt it's your browser. So yeah, good luck. Let me know if I can help, or tell me what the answer is too. And love to know what the answer is in Discord. So be sure to plug that there. Dude, SudoAl, how dude, thank you so much. 5 gifted subs. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Not Jim, Frigid Souls, Tony Lovestitch, Dark Devil, and Farland Lubber. Farland Lubber, enjoy your gifted sub from SudoAl. Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Soon I'm gonna create a filter where I can like highlight people who do things on here too, but hopefully you see down there in my little link popping up. But I appreciate it. SudoAl, appreciate it so much. Thank you. I'm Moopba. No worries, Tim. We're here for you regardless. Thank you. I'm doing something new with audio today. I totally rigged this together, but it looks like it's working okay. I can see like my wireless transmitter right there is not peaking, and it looks like it's going into OBS. So, but thank you. I appreciate it. I think this is unfiltered too, like no compressor. It's probably all kinds of weird, but got to do it. Happy anniversary. I need to see what you guys are saying this, but I need to see, like, is it my 4-year anniversary on Twitch? It would have to be 5. It would have to be 5 because I started on Twitch before I started on YouTube, and YouTube was about 4 years ago. So I don't know. I need to see it. Actually, I was probably on Twitch longer than that. But anyways, I don't know what my anniversary is. People keep saying it, but I can't see it. So if you see it or know it, let me know. But yeah, thank you. Frigid Souls, did I shave my head? I actually did. That's why I have my hat on right now. I did. I'm kind of starting all over. Yeah, my hair journey. I shaved my head for years. Then I let it grow out during COVID, and then like I don't know, I just shaved it again. So I'm probably gonna start all over. Not let it get as long. Hopefully it comes back. Hopefully it comes back. You know how that goes. But yeah, I did. Good eye. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Well, that means you could probably tell from here. So yeah, that's even better eye. I was like, wait a second, my latest video I had hair, but the one I'm working on I don't have hair. Anyways, I did shave it off. Maybe I'll show you it soon. It's 0 clip right now, so it's basically like bald. And same with my face. My face is like 1. So I'm gonna try to keep things a little bit shorter. We'll see. But yeah. Good eye, good eye. Twisted Grim, it's a good Saturday. I just got the new 5-port PoE 2.5 gigabit mini little switch, super useful for my desk. Oh, is this, I just got the new 5-port PoE 2.5 gigabit mini little switch. Are you talking about the mini? The Unify mini switch that's 2.5? Yeah, it's pretty awesome. They sent me one. It's pretty awesome. Oh yeah, Unify, yeah. They're pretty cool. They're pretty cool for sure. Yeah, they sent me one. It's right over there. I got it on the day that it was actually released. So I was like, well, I'm not going to make a video about it. Maybe I'll make a short about it. But I mean, what can you say? It's awesome. It's tiny. It can be powered over PoE, and it's 2.5 gigabit. So yeah, I love them. I have like, yeah, I have an embarrassing amount of the 1 gig ones. I want to say I either have 6 or 9. Because what I do, I actually have one on my workbench right now, which is perfect for your workbench. Like when I'm not working on stuff, I unhook it. When I'm working on stuff, I plug it in and it gets powered from PoE. But I have them behind every TV. I have them basically behind anything where I need more ports. Right? I didn't want to run like, well, I didn't. I probably should have run more, network cables to where my TV is. But since I didn't, I only have one. I plug one of those in, and then I get VLANs, and I can separate it all out. Xbox on this, TV on this. They're mostly on the same. Apple TV on this. It's pretty fun, pretty awesome too. And I've done that behind every TV now because I'm like, I have at least 1 or 2 things that are plugged in because I don't like using wireless. So yeah, it is sweet to have a 2.5 gigabit for sure. It is, and I think we're going to see that on a lot of stuff. I mean. Everything's gonna, I'm not talking about just Ubiquiti themselves, but everything everywhere is 2.5 is not like the new norm, which is still kind of weird to me that we, went from 1 to 2.5, not to 10, but I get it. Like all the PoE stuff, like I assume, and I think they had to go somewhere in between because they still wanted, they didn't want to have to like redo PoE or something like that, which is like, well, why not 5 then? But anyways, I don't know enough about it. I'm glad it's faster than 1 gigabit now, so for sure. What do you think about the new ARM and Qualcomm Windows laptops? I only know what I've heard. I only know what I've heard is that slower. Not a lot of software there, and I don't know. I mean, I have no opinion. My opinions are only what I've heard from other people, which is, hey, it's a lot slower. Hey, it doesn't have a lot of applications, and that's about it. But I think Microsoft has to get it right. For Windows specifically, they have to get it right. They have to figure this out. Because that's just the way the market's going, and they're still going to be making Wintel machines, right? Windows and Intel, but they definitely do need to make progress, more headway into ARM, because like I mean, it's just weird that they had the Surface laptops way back, and then they're like, we're going back to x86, and then oh, by the way, we have the Surface RT, but we're going back to x86. But now we have these Surface Pro things that aren't Pro, not the non-Pro version that have ARM, but we're still doing x86. And so they've had so many iterations of this to where I feel like they should be further along, to be honest. And so I don't know if that's it's probably a little bit of like market demand and, and them trying to still like make some progress on what they want to do. So I don't know. I'd love to see one for myself. I would love Windows on ARM. That would give me some more things to play with, right? And you can only buy on the dev kit now. So again, these are opinions that I've heard from other people who have reviewed them. I haven't done it myself, so. But I obviously play with the Surface RT, and then the Surface, not the Windows RT, and then the Surface, the non-Pro. I played with those both, and those were on ARM, right? So like Windows getting into ARM now is not a new thing. Like they've tried multiple times. It's It's just that, now it's like people are kind of paying attention. I think prior people kind of wrote Windows on ARM off because of how poorly Windows 8 was received, right? And so the general consumer for these devices couldn't separate the two. And why should they? It was just a weird choice. Get this tablet that you could touch that has Windows 8 on it, and then, oh, by the way, you can get it with x86 or you can get it with ARM. And the normal consumer is going to be like, well, why does that matter? And they might say, oh, battery life. Okay, cool. Can I run Photoshop? No. And so, it was kind of DOA. It was DOA at the time, not only because of Windows 8 and how poorly that was received, but mostly because of compatibility. And so people weren't going to trade battery life for not being able to run, Excel at the time or anything else. Legacy software, quote unquote, is what they called it. And it's still legacy software, AKA anything that runs on a desktop. So, which is everything. So yeah, it's, I don't know. Again, like I know Windows on ARM from years ago. I don't know Windows on ARM lately. And I would like to know. I think Microsoft is going crazy and competing with Apple, but yeah, for sure. Like everyone is. Like Intel is, like NVIDIA is, like everyone's competing with everyone. I think Intel has kind of the worst though. Like Intel is like fighting like on every direction, They're fighting AMD for x86 on both desktop and server. Then they're fighting, ARM in general, right? And then they're fighting, for GPU for their life. They're fighting CPU for their life. Not only, one architecture, but two architectures on 3 different platforms. Like, man, oh man. It's like they're seriously fighting 5 wars right now. They're fighting 5 wars, and it's like, and on top of that, AI, right? And then this huge like AI war, like and that's not even counting like just a GPU for GPU's sake. So tough business to be in, especially when you have a lot of baggage, right? When you have a lot of baggage, it's tough business to be in because you can't pivot as fast as some of the new people. So yeah, it's interesting times for sure. Yeah, I know. I agree. You'd think that Microsoft would have learned from so many other platforms. You got to have apps to run it. Yeah, Microsoft should have learned this from themselves. I mean, look at Windows 8. Look at Windows Phone. I mean, they learned this from themselves. They should have like at least studied their own history to say like, hey, remember Windows Phone? It was great. I'll be honest, it was great, but there were no apps there, right? And they paid developers and companies millions and millions of dollars to get their apps over there. And there were just some companies that weren't willing to do it. Google, they're like, no, we're not doing it. And if you are gonna buy into a platform, you're not just buying into the platform just for the hardware specs or just for the operating system, right? I think that those are tools to help you get things done. But you get things done in apps, right? And so if the apps aren't there, you can't get things done. So why would you choose it? So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. But I feel like Microsoft has been through this already. Like, they've been through the ARM piece. They've been through let's build a new platform with no apps. I feel like they have to. They have to keep going though. They have to keep going. Like, yeah, it's I don't mean to keep dwelling on it, but like if desktop ARM like takes off, then they're gonna have to, right? But it's like the chicken or the egg right now, just like the whole app story. Like, we can't have Windows on ARM if there are no apps, and Windows on ARM probably won't run on ARM, if people aren't going to buy ARM processors, and they're not going to buy ARM processors if they can't run apps. So it's pretty wild. So let's see. Only thing I noticed is the blinking lights in the background. Inquiry Mind. Yeah, the blinking lights. Yeah, so lights flash when there's activities like subs, bits, all that stuff. So. And then you can change them yourself too if you have channel points, which are free, which you get. There's a little light bulb down there or something, an orb. It's a circle, orb. Click on that. You can spend channel points and change the lights in my room or even turn them off. Looking forward to the new laptops that's compatible with LPCAMM2 memory. Yeah, that's I don't know enough about that memory. Maybe I should. But yeah, for sure. I'm interested in like all kinds of new hardware. I feel like we're on the cusp of like, you know, with new things from ARM, with x86 kind of getting less attention. I'm ready for like some new breakthrough technologies, because even ARM's been around for a long time. I mean, I feel like we need some kind of other like, I don't know, revolution in this space, because ARM, like, yeah, I'm not downplaying it at all, but it's the same thing, but faster and less power, right? I feel like we need something, more than that. I'm ready for something like huge. Like, that's why, like, I don't know, late 90s and stuff was awesome, because there was just like all this new stuff, like stuff you never even thought of before. Well, I grew up in the 90s, so it was just like, oh man, I mean, it was the norm for me. Like, oh, this cool thing, I've never heard of before, awesome, oh, this cool thing, and I thought those were going to keep happening. So, and don't get me wrong, like, innovation is still around, especially when it comes to other things, but I feel like innovation with personal computing hasn't had gigantic leaps outside of phones, right? And I don't mean like when I'm upping a phone, I mean just having a phone that you carry around that's a computer now. It's like, since then, it's like better, smaller, faster, less power. I want something else. But anyways, by the way, I'm digging that shirt. Hell, thank you. Thanks. It's funny, like every time I wear this shirt, like someone mentions something about it. It's super bright, which I like. It's just a Nike shirt that I got on sale at Kohl's. It's a Nike shirt that I got on sale at Kohl's. And I wanted to buy the blue one. I hunted for the blue one for months. And then once I found the blue one, I didn't buy it. My wife was like, why aren't you buying it? You've been looking for this for months. And I don't know, something about the chase about finding the blue one. Then once I saw it, I was like, I probably won't wear it. Okay, let's move on. 6 terabytes. Oh yeah, 6 terabytes. That's what I did get back for sure. For sure. Tusa Packer. Hi, Tim. I'm in a dilemma. I'm looking to buy the Ryzen 78X 3D processor. I can buy it at Micro Center with a B650 motherboard and a 32 gigs of RAM for $717. That sounds pretty good. For $650, they have a bundle with the 7950 X3D motherboard and an X760 and 32 gigs of RAM for $650. The fact is, I don't need 16 cores, and I'm afraid that the 7950 3D won't give me the same gaming performance or will be more stable. Yeah, so what it boils down to is, hey, like I can buy this bundle that is, let me do my math. Math is hard. $67 more than another bundle. And I really like the bundle that's $67 more. And I don't want to be let down by the bundle that's $67 less. I would say for the amount of time and effort that you put into it, do the $67 upgrade. Mainly because like I go into this scenario all the time. When I buy something, I try to upgrade it as much as it can go, right? Because if not, I'm going to regret it, or I'm going to think about it way too much, or I'm going to, this is just me and how my brain works. If I didn't go with that one, I would always wonder what that one would be like, and as soon as something went wrong with the lower package, I would blame it. I would blame it on that. And I would say, that's why I should have bought the upgraded package. And so, $67 while it is $67 and it's yeah, no, agreed. Nobody ever regrets buying too much PC. I agree. You never do. But you will have regrets if you buy too little PC. And that's what I'm saying is like when you go to play games, the minute you see like frame stutters, you'd be like, oh, I should have upgraded. I knew I should have got the better processor. I knew I should have got the better, CPU. But if, the top tier stutters, you're just kind of like, hey, that's what it is. This is a demanding game. So I'm in the boat where I do overbuy a lot of the times, but I make my stuff last as long as humanly possible. Like my Intel, PC, Windows PC, Intel 8K. It's right there. It's right there. I still use it. So, so yeah. And that's why I upgraded that one when I first bought it. I maxed it out, like RAM maxed out. Yeah, I maxed out the RAM, and got the best, Core i7 at the time, because it was like, I don't want to touch it again. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to like I don't want to be tempted like in a year or two to upgrade because I got an i5 instead. And so as soon as I get an i5, I'm tempted by every i7 that comes out or an i9 that comes out. So I was like, I don't want any of that. i7 all the way, because then I can always compare it to the top tier. And then and again, like I've had this build for, we're on 14th gen now. So, it's been a little bit longer than 6 years that I've had this build, and still, like, there's no reason for me to really upgrade it, although there is a reason now. It's called making YouTube videos. So anyways, go for the top one. But if you can't afford it, then obviously don't. But you're looking at some pretty, you're looking at a couple of bundles that are comparatively priced. And I say go for the bigger one. Hey Tim and Chat, how's it? Kunefi, how's it going? Speed Weiner. I'm gonna go with Weiner. No, Speed Weiner. No, I run several, and one PBS is on a Raspberry Pi. Back to back everything up on PVE on x86. That is awesome. That is awesome. So you run PBS on a Raspberry Pi, which of course is ARM. I don't know if it's ARM 7, ARM 8, whatever. Doesn't matter. Different CPU architecture. But you're backing up x86 machines. I love it. I love it. That is pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome. Happy PBS Saturday, everyone. Hey, everyone. So this is from Bepil Bomista. Lim, get that right? Pepe. I got to get this. Bepil. I bet it's Pepe. Anyways, Gomista. Hi, everyone. Greetings from Italy. You have already tested the free version of Veeam. It should soon integrate with Proxmox 2 if they only allowed it to be installed on Linux and not just Windows. Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of people brought that up. A super popular, alternative or option, or one of the few only really good options for backing up stuff, is Veeam. To be honest, I haven't used Veeam at all. I hear about it all the time. I'm after kind of going all in with Proxmox, I decided that NFS was good enough and that I didn't need file level backups from a lot of things. And so that's why I stuck on NFS so long, because I determined early on that, like, if my virtual machines die, they can be rebuilt. And since I was running a lot of stuff HA, I was like, as long as one of them is up, I can rebuild it. But at the same time, I would back up only the data that I couldn't recreate, right? And so for a long time, I was just like, yep, I'm just going to export databases, export etcd, do Kubernetes backups, and whatever. VM dies, they die. But then I was like, this kind of sucks for recovery, and that's when I started backing up VMs itself. So long story short, I never got into Veeam because I didn't do file level backups, I guess. So I should probably look at it. I mentioned or heard that they're going to be supporting Proxmox soon. I wonder, like, in what capacity? Is it going to be the same as Proxmox, where it's actually doing incremental backups of the machines and maybe probably doing the file level too? And one of my biggest complaints is it probably does bare metal restores, which is pretty awesome, And so that's one thing I wish Proxmox would do. I don't know if they will, but bare metal restores would be greatly appreciated. I get it that, like, it's super, like, if you're using Proxmox, there's almost no reason for a bare metal restore, right? Because if you're using Proxmox, it's taking a backup of the machine and you can easily restore it. So no use case for it. But if you're not and you're using their agent, bare metal would be cool. But I would say, if I were them, if I could tell them what to do, I'd say don't focus on that. Focus on file level stuff for Windows and everything else, because that would be kind of nice. That would be kind of nice. But yeah, I'll have to check out Veeam. A lot of people talk about it, and I'll be honest, I'm pretty ignorant when it comes to Veeam. I've looked at it a few times. I know that they have a free version. I should probably check it out. Speedwiener, awesome. I have one spare Dell Optiplex that I can use for PBS. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Like, it can run on anything. Like I said, like in that video, you could run it on the cheapest, smallest CPU ever. And you're saying, hey, earlier that, hey, I run it on a Raspberry Pi, which is awesome. So yeah, very little resources at all. I think where you're gonna see resource constraints is if you start doing the verified jobs, because the verified, I think, does like on the cleanup jobs, and the deduping, it's gonna do some calculations. And so the verified jobs for sure is going to, tax the CPU. But I mean, one, you probably don't have to do it at all. Two, like for a modern CPU, it should be totally fine. I'm just saying, like if you're using Raspberry Pis, and you have lots of backups, if you are doing that verified job where it's doing the checksum of all the chunks and verifying it, that might take some time. But then again, might not. I can imagine. I don't know what that was towards, but probably something dumb I was saying. Speed Wiener, like Tim was talking about virtualizing PBS, I have two virtualized on separate PBE installs. They're low resource when standing by. Yeah, then I can use the rest of the hardware in the meantime. Backups are every second day and take less than 10 minutes. That is awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. Once you go to PBS, it's like, dude, I have all this like backups run fast. My network barely needs to transfer any information, and I can run them way more often, right? And so it's been great. It's been great for me, especially doing over the colo. I only have 500 megabit up down here, and if you think about what I was doing before, 30, 40, 50 gigabytes takes some time. But now that it's doing the diff client side, and then or calculating what needs to be sent client side and sending over the wire the diff, now it's like, a couple hundred megs per machine. So it's pretty sweet. If that. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And yeah, one thing I was also considering too that I didn't mention in there, like if you are going to do a separate physical machine, I would 100% shut that machine down and schedule it to start up. So if it were me, if I would I absolutely have to have, another machine running 24/7. If it's not low power, right? Because it might not be. If you throw in 5 drives in it, just so you have enough terabytes to back stuff up, it might not be as low power as you want. But me, personally, what I would do if I was in that scenario, I would schedule a shutdown every day at, 5 in the morning, depending on when your backups are. If your backup window is from 3 to 5, let's say it's 3 to 4, keep it easy. 1 hour window for your backups. I would have a scheduled job that shut down the machine at 5, right? Give it another hour just in case. And then I would, in the BIOS on that machine, I would just set an alarm in the BIOS. I'd go old school, go in the BIOS, do it that way. You don't even need to use Wake on LAN or anything like that. Go in the BIOS, set an alarm for 3 a.m. And now that machine's only running from 3 to 5, right? 2 hours, and it's really only going to back up, 3 to 4. I don't know what we said before, but just, give a little padding on each side, maybe even 15 minutes. And now you have this machine that's backing up all your stuff that's only on for an hour a day, if that, right? Once you start timing your backups, you'll see hey, it doesn't even need to be on this long. You could probably get them pretty narrow, but it would be awesome for sure. PC Geek, I use IPMI command on TrueNAS to turn on the backup server, then a cron job, to shut it down later. That is awesome. That is awesome. So you trigger it from IPMI. That is awesome too. Yeah, that is great. That is awesome. I used to do it with Wake on LAN. It was getting a little too wild because I could, and I wrote a bash script, and that bash script always ran on my Pi Zero, and it would wake machines up. But if I wanted something, more stable, yeah, I agree. PC Geek is not as reliable, and neither was my Pi Zero. Like for me, the most reliable thing is the alarm in the BIOS to just say, hey, just turn on, right? It might get off sync with it might get off sync with times and time zones and all that stuff, but whatever, you'll figure that out. But that's what I would do if I couldn't have another machine. Me, I virtualize it, and so it's incrementally, I'm probably using an additional 2 watts, right, to put it there, right? And I don't mean while it's running, obviously that's going to take more, but incrementally at idle on top of my virtualization server, it's maybe adding 1 or 2 watts, and that's probably being generous, right? Because it's not doing anything. It's not taking any more hardware. It's just using the existing hardware. And that's why I virtualize a lot of stuff, because you pay incremental power versus a whole nother thing. So, anyways, yeah, awesome stuff. It's super fun. I'm so glad that everyone's I'm glad that people like backups too. I'm happy that people like PBS, and 3, I'm glad that people are telling me alternatives like Beam and to check it out, because I should for sure. DM Cardinal, a lot of care and feeding required. Are they like your gremlins? Don't modify your Kubernetes clusters at midnight. Yeah. So going back to like my Kubernetes cluster where I was saying like, in general, they shouldn't need much care and feeding, but running it at home, there is a little bit more care and feeding than if you're running it, say, from a cloud provider or a SaaS or whatever. Yeah, I do have gremlins. Yeah, they do get fat after, midnight sometimes. So they do multiply and go crazy. But, I've said this a few times before. Kubernetes, while it's great for making your services highly available, especially if you have a lot of services that don't have any state, right? That are stateless, get their state from other things to where you can scale them easily and don't need storage. That's the ideal scenario. But a lot of the containers that run at home are the exact opposite. Super stateful, they need storage, and they can't be scaled, right? And so when you put those kind of restrictions on your containers and then put them in Kubernetes, a lot of things can, in general, just not work out the way you would expect them to be. And so, and because of that, it ends up not being as stable as if I just ran them on a single node Docker, right? And so, I've experienced so many times where a pod is in a crash loop for whatever reason, or a pod is in the crash loop because the storage is, I don't know, disappeared. Who knows, Or a pod can't be fully terminated because it's still attached to the storage. And like sometimes the only way to get it to release is to reboot the machine. And so because of all those reasons, I'm like, okay, well, my supercritical stuff, we're talking a handful of stuff. Plex, Home Assistant, the things that like my wife will notice are down are on Docker, right? The things she won't notice are down, or the things that like I don't, I don't depend on daily, those are in Kubernetes. So like the bot that's in here, it's all in Kubernetes and stuff like that. My databases are all in Kubernetes, although I've been still debating that choice for a while. It's great until it isn't anymore, right? That's the thing with Kubernetes. It's great until it isn't anymore. And so the times where it isn't, it's usually when I'm doing something that Kubernetes can handle, but might not be the best use case. But it's still fun to support and play with. But when everything was in there, I felt like I was supporting it way too much, and that I couldn't focus on things like this or new content because I have to decide. Hey, my website's in Kubernetes. Pretend it's not. Hey, or hey, Plex is down right now, or create some content. Well, my wife wants to watch Plex, and I need to record Plex, and that needs to be up. So now I'm going and fixing Plex in Kubernetes instead of making content. So, I had to kind of balance it out. And so it's been a long, windy road. It's been a long, windy road. I'm sure something will force me to go back to Kubernetes for everything. Maybe Rook Ceph. I don't know. That's where I want to see, like, I want to talk to someone who's done Rook Ceph enough to know where the landmines are and what they don't like about it. Because everyone I talked about to Rook Ceph, they're super bullish on it, but they're also like, they're fans of it. And I'm going to talk to someone who has, will give it a 3-star review, right? 3-star reviews are really where you start to, find the pros and cons. 1, they're just mad. 5, either getting paid or fake. I'm kidding. 3-star reviews is where you really get some good feedback. Because those are the people who were like, I'm not giving them 4, I'm not giving them 2, I'm giving them right in the middle, and this is why. So anyways, I need some people who give Rook Ceph a 3-star review so I can pick their brain about, what are some of the pain points. Actually, 3 PBS with Raspberry Pi included. That is awesome, Speedwiener. I feel so weird saying that. If someone's standing outside the window right now, they're like, what is this guy talking about? Speedwiener? Speedwiener, oh, that's cool and great. That means I can use an Optiplex as a second PVE node and have PBS as my virtualized backup on my main server. Awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome for sure. Let's see. SudoAl. Been months since I catch your live stream. How have you been? I've been good. Me this last month, I learned CloudStack. Awesome. Golang. Awesome. Red Panda and Temporal. Awesome. We're getting our second colo. It's quite a month. That is awesome. Yeah. So you're not losing. You're using some pretty awesome tech. On the edge tech, right? And learning Golang, that is awesome to be able to, learn a new language and then write the tools that you need in that language. That's where it's really awesome. That's why I love I love software development, and that's when I switched over from like scripting and automating to like creating my own stuff, because a lot of times the things that I wanted to do were so specific to what I wanted to do, I could never find the app that would do it for me. And then once I learned how to write software and get software running, then it's like, okay, now the only limit I have now is time, and my imagination, right? And Google, of course, Googling for stuff. But that's awesome. Congratulations. I need to look at CloudStack too. I know Golang. I don't know Red Panda. Temporal. I thought Temporal. I don't know that either. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. I'm not sure if that's a Kubernetes thing. But awesome. But thank you again for the continued support. Let's see. I know I'm not going. Actually, I'm not going over. I'm actually right on time because I was so late. LOL. We're glad you give you an intern. Yes, Yocto. You guys heard it here first. I get to be an intern at YWS. Oh man, if I ever come out to the Pacific Northwest, yeah, I'd love to see it. But yeah, I appreciate that. All right, I can have my honorary YWS badge. Be getting certified when I come out there. Red Baron, what's up, man? I know him in IRL. No ONVIF for Wyze cameras. They have RSTP firmware. That's right, but it isn't updated and doesn't work on their newer cameras. Good point. Yeah, I had a feeling that there was third-party firmware that you could use, and you got it exactly right, RSTP firmware. I didn't know it wasn't still updated, but that was the way to kind of like put your own firmware on there so you could use them with your own system. But yeah, no ONVIF. Yeah, that's it'd be a lot to ask from a $30 camera, to support this stuff. But good to know though that it won't. So I definitely need to find like, hey, it might be time for me to buy another IP camera. I gave them away. I gave them all the mods as soon as I switched over. I need to get one. I need to get another one. Let's see. Monkey Boy, gotta grow it back and stay warm for the winter. Yeah, I know. I gotta grow all this back now. My head too, my face. We'll see. It's I don't know. I like to switch things up. And I kind of like a reset every now and then. So this was a big reset for me. Just face, head. And once I did it, like I felt so much air on my head. I was like, oh yeah, this is what it used to feel like. I love this. Wake up in the morning and you're like, hey, yeah, hair's done. Nothing to do, Oh, yes, Unify. Yes, it's sweet. Glad to have 2.5 gig now. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. The mini Flex Mini. Rob Swizz, started my own IT consulting business and I'm running Imai to track time and invoice clients. Also to track receipts, I've set up Paperless NG, X for document management, all running in LXCs. Dude, Rob Swizz, this is awesome. I know what you mean. I also kind of run my own business, this YouTube thing that I have and some consulting stuff. Although it's not set up. It's official, but anyways, I'm not going to go into how I set my taxes up. But that is awesome. I've always wondered too for time tracking. So Imai, it looks like Imai. I got to check it out. And I know Paperless NGX. Like every like once a week, I'm like, did I go to Paperless NGX? I'm just going to take a photo of this thing and keep it forever in my photos, And I should, because it gives me a good system, right? And when I have a good system for, seats and documents and saving important stuff, I'll continue to use it, and I know where it is. Right now, I don't have a great system. Sometimes I convert things to PDF and email them to myself. Sometimes I take a photo with my camera and I forget I even did that, right? And so I would love to have and so going back to that, because I don't have a real system, I just make it up as I go at the time of doing it. It's easier for me to keep doing whatever I want to do. So yeah, I should check it out because it sounds really awesome. I should do it. I should especially, and then that will give me a place to put everything. Because like it's hard to say like I mean, I know that like a lot of people think, hey, aren't we paperless already? No, like we're nowhere near paperless. You know, if you think of receipts, you think things that come in the mail, things that only be printed, things that could only be signed. And so like being able to collect those things and put them in one place where like me and my wife can find them would be awesome. So I really do need to check it out. And like even my digital world is so fragmented too, right? I have a documents folder on my NAS, but I also have like 2 Google Drives, right? You know, one for my personal and one for my Techno Tim stuff. So it's my stuff's all over the place digitally. And I think, can I make this a resolution maybe in 2025 is consolidate my digital life, put it somewhere. At home for sure, right? At home for sure. So yeah, thanks for bringing it up, and I'm glad that someone's using it, and not just for like home stuff. You're actually using it for your businesses. Twisted Grim, interesting because my clients rely on dedicated database clusters. Yocto in-memory DBs are good. Please don't get me wrong. Yeah. Depends on what you're using for a DB. I've got a lot of projects DBs container. Ooh, this is going somewhere. Speaking of in-memory databases, oh my gosh, I won't go into it. I was talking about in Discord, but I've been doing a huge like upgrade of a Redis database upgrade migration / go to HA, and it's been pretty fun. I will say that it's been pretty fun. Been learning a lot, but yeah, it's anyways, yeah. So I'm like, oh man, I'm like thinking like of what I have to do next week. But yeah, in-memory databases, I've done some Redis stuff. Yeah, and like we have a 300 gig Redis database. So if you think like that's a lot of key value pairs, 300 gigs all in memory, like, and running for years without ever going down, because if it goes down, you lose it because it's in memory. So anyways, yeah, I've done some stuff and I'm still doing some stuff. I'm trying to get us to HA. So anyways, I think Microsoft is going crazy. Yeah, competing with Apple. Oh, I saw some of this. You think that Microsoft would have learned? Oh yeah, for sure. Or I don't know, Xbox? Yeah, for sure. This is all going back to a little bit earlier. I'd be interested in trying some of the Linux ARM distros and see how they function. Hey, Speedwiener. Yeah, it's I use Ubuntu server on ARM. So all of my Raspberry Pis, they don't run Pi OS, which was the fork of Debian at some point or something like that. Raspbian. Yeah, Raspbian was like a downstream of Debian, and then they changed it to Pi OS. Whatever. I don't run that. I run Ubuntu server on my Pis, and it's great because it's all yeah, just runs just like all of my other servers. So yeah, I mean you wouldn't even notice the difference. Like Ubuntu on ARM is just like Ubuntu on x86. There are slight differences in packages. Obviously, it's going to be up to package maintainers to publish an ARM version. But I haven't noticed any difference. Like when I do a sudo apt install something that I need across the board, right? Because when I run, let me put it this way: when I run my Ansible playbooks to standardize my Ubuntu servers, I don't discriminate between x86 and ARM. I don't at all, because all the packages are there, they all work, and they're pretty light standard packages anyway. So, but yeah, there are plenty of ARM ones on there. So if you're saying, hey, you're using Raspbian, yeah, there are plenty for sure. And then it just becomes, yeah, like general purpose computing device. Only thing I think, yeah, you still might have to install something from Pi to update the firmware, but I can't remember. Otherwise, you could do it on the SSD, I think, on newer versions. SSD, micro SD, or USB, whatever you're using. So, yeah, it's pretty awesome. I read that one earlier. Not just on Windows. So, yeah, I read that one. We talked about a little bit earlier. Windows 6 had potential. What the heck was Windows 6? 4 was NT. 5 was XP, right? 6 was 6 Vista? No. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, I'm thinking of the NT version. Let me see. 5 was 2000. Yeah, because 4 was NT 4.0, 5 was 2000. That was my jam. I mean, like my first PC had Windows 98 on it. Oh, 6 would be XP. Oh yeah, that was my jam. 2000 was great. Yeah, 2000 was great. Yeah, so I started on Windows 98 SE, and not because like I'm young, not that that even means young, but it's because like I didn't have a PC until late in life, and I had 98 SE, and I was like, yeah, this is awesome, but why does it crash all the time? Like, you know, and the moment that Windows 2000 came out, I was like, I'm on it. Like, it's a new version, I'm going to it. Like, I had no idea. Like, it's, oh, now I'm on NT. And I made the jump from Windows 98 SE. Nothing worked. Voodoo card, nada. Sound, you know, my Sound Blaster card, nada. Like, it had no drivers for any consumer thing. And so I was like, man, this thing is so stable and it runs so great. And I like the experience, but nothing is supported. And so I had to keep bouncing back before, you know, between 98. And it was a while before, you know, driver makers actually released drivers for it, because everybody thought like Windows 2000, it's NT. Now I got to, you know, do things different. And that's more for businesses. So a lot of, you know, consumer stuff didn't release drivers for a while. Voodoo Sound Blaster, I know. For sure, man. Yeah. But dude, I did it. And then I even there was the Voodoo FX. So I bought a Voodoo FX video card from Circuit City. Yeah, this is getting blast from the past. Then they had this expander card that I could like put on it, and I think it would add more video RAM. It was basically like, you know, on the Nintendo 64, I could get that slot, get like 4 more megabytes of RAM. Yeah, it's basically like that. But you could like do it with your Voodoo card. It was basically like dual cards way back in the day. Anyways, yeah, it was pretty awesome. I loved 2000. ME, you guys didn't even mention ME. Garbage. Oh yeah, PC Geek did. Yeah, Millennium Edition, I was like, yeah, like me, I'm always for new stuff. Like, I'm so optimistic about new software, new operating systems. I'm like, it's gonna be the best Windows yet. You know, I'm like anyone with Apple, like, it's the best iPhone yet. That's how I feel with everything. That's how I feel with everything. Anytime there's an update, I'm like, it's gonna be the best update yet. They're gonna, you know, so I'm super optimistic when it comes to that stuff. But when it came to Windows ME Millennium Edition, I was like, it's gonna be the best Windows yet. And I'm like, not really. Like, there was a few things in there that like I think ended up surviving. Can't remember. Stuff in the control panel, I don't remember. Maybe it was the Windows back, I don't know. There were a couple things in there that actually then did carry. Maybe it was the home network sharing. Remember that whole thing? That was awesome and confusing at the same time, but it was awesome. Anyways, so yeah, ME, not so good. Yeah, and then XP came out and I was like, this is awesome. Like, this is the way it should be. Yeah, and when XP came out, I was all over it. SP1, SP2, you name it, even SP3. Anyways, yeah, this is all nostalgia for me, because this is the golden years for me, like, of computing, when I like had the time and had the interest to like do all of this. You know, it was just me and computers from like 2000 till about still going. And so yeah, it is the golden age for me, because it's when I really like had the time to set aside in life where I could do it, and had the passion and had the funds. Like, I actually had a computer that I owned, so it was pretty awesome. Yeah, I loved it. Techno Tim, mandatory XKCD, yeah, for sure. But yeah, anyways, I don't know. Now I'm getting all super nostalgic. I loved it. Like, some days I feel like going back and like building an old Gateway computer and just like having it, you know, like it's an old Gateway computer. Remember Gateway computers? People like Gateway, and they had like the cow spots on them. And just building like my old machine. Really, if I could go back and build anything all over again, like my one machine that I love so much, it was my first PC ever, Gateway. It was an HP, I think it was called an HP 500, and it was at the age where like translucent was kind of cool again, and it was this gray box that was kind of rounded and had a translucent front, and it was a HP, I don't know, HP something, HP 500E or something like that. But it had a K62, it had an AMD processor, I don't know. I probably had 32 megabytes or who knows. I can't even remember. And if I could build one thing all over, it would be that. And I would totally put like the same CD burner I had in there, same DVD burner that I had in there, you know, the four hard drives that I had, you know, all on IDE cables. And I would have to figure out like the setting the master and slave on half of them because I couldn't afford newer hard drives that would auto select. So I still had these, you know, old hard drives from a long time ago where you had to get the pins just right. Oh man, Plextor. Oh yeah, Plextor. Yeah, the burners. Yeah, for sure, Yeah, yeah, and then get my translucent purple zip drive where I could put 100 megabyte, you know, fat zip disk in there. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, it was good times. This is like going back to what I was talking about a little bit earlier, just to kind of round it out, where like I feel like there was so much innovation. You know, this for me is early 2000s and late 90s. I feel like there was just so much innovation, like we never knew what we were going to get next. And I have something coming up soon, but when I visited a PC recycling store, they're selling PCs from like that era, and it is so incredible to see like what companies were betting on, you know, as the next big thing to sell their product, right? Like I was seeing laptops that had built-in play and pause, you know, buttons. Remember that? Like people would have play and pause buttons built in. Like some even put it on the outside so you could put your CD in and listen to it, you know, with your laptop kind of maybe on. So it's pretty awesome to see. I'm sorry, I'm getting super nostalgic because I got something coming up that I'm going to show you guys that that took me down memory lane. And so anyways, like I could talk about this stuff all day, especially like things about old computers. And in the grand scheme of things, they're not even that old too, right? We're talking late 90s or something like that. But yeah. Anyways, man, oh yeah, cleaning the mouse ball. Yeah, I think we'll end with that one for sure. I remember cleaning that mouse ball too. I had it down. You just swipe it, take the ball out, and then you would use your fingernail, and on the 3 tracks, you would just like you would scrape at like a 45-degree angle, because scraping at the 45-degree angle will get the crud off, and it would spin the wheel at the same time. So I was just like scrape, you know, and I was just talking to people and then scraping the other way. Yeah, 45-degree angle, good fingernail, and you were spinning it and scraping it at the same time. That gross, yeah. I can't say much because I don't know what just happened. Maybe I'm still live, but my machine just locked up. Oh, I know what happened. I don't even know if I'm still live. Yeah, I am. Hot corners, I need to change that. Anyways, I have a hot corner on my machine. And if I put it in that hot corner, it locks the machine. Well, I just did that because I don't usually touch the mouse while I'm streaming. Anyways, I'm like going crazy and going super nostalgic. But I want to say, yeah, oh man, yeah, scraping the mouse, man. Oh man, those are the good old days, scraping mice. Anyways, hey, thank you guys all so much for tuning in today. Man, we talked about so many things, and like, you guys brought back so many memories. I do apologize for being late. Hopefully this microphone turned out okay. Little guy. Hopefully it turned out okay. I'll know after the stream. And I do apologize. I need to get my audio setup totally working so I can maybe use this again someday. Who knows what's going on? And I need to figure that out. But anyways, apologize for being late. Hopefully it sounds okay. Sorry, no music. Sorry, no sound effects. But I had to roll with what I had. If you guys want to share anything else, if I skipped over your chat, or you want to share something, or you want to ping me, or need my opinion, you absolutely can do that in our Discord. We have a Discord getting close. I think we're at or above or around 10,000 members, which is pretty incredible to think about. But pretty laid back, pretty low ping, people talking about tech and all kinds of stuff. And it's a good place to kind of share and be around like-minded people who know what you're talking about when you talk about, you know, video cards and you name it, hard drives and all this stuff like that. So anyways, I will be back here next Saturday. Hopefully I'll have something out for you this week too. Got 2 things, one super special that I'm working on. One's going to be on my other channel. Hopefully I can get both of them out to you soon. So maybe 2 videos, 2 channels. We'll see. I'm trying to stay on top of it, and that's why I like switching to Resolve DaVinci Resolve and switching to Affinity Photo, and my sound not working right now. It's just like, productivity buster. Anyways, I'll get it figured out. Not your problem, it's mine. Have a great Saturday. Thanks again. There was lots of subs. There was renew subs. There was gifted subs. Mathny, I just saw you resubbed. 47 months, tier 1. Dude, Mathny, thank you so much. Sorry, I have no sound in my ears. I have headphones on for no reason because my sound's not working, but other than just blocking out the noise. Mathny, thank you so much. Thanks for the continued support. But speaking of support, thank you all for the subs, resubs, gifted subs. Thank you so much. And thank you for the follows. Appreciate that too. Absolutely. Following is great. And yeah, mostly thank you for setting aside some time to be here and chat with me. I really appreciate it. Time is one thing that it's limited. We can't get back, so I appreciate you spending it here. So, and I'm not going to take any more of it. Have a great Saturday. I'll see you next week. I'll be in Discord. Take care, folks, and be good to each other. Take care.